Hello.
Hello. Sorry
Hey,
I'm
how are
late.
you? No, it's okay. I just got here as well.
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. And you?
Yeah, very good, thank you.
Good to see you.
Are you going to Detroit in the
Yeah,
month?
yeah,
Oh, nice.
yeah, I'll be there. So
Cool.
we can meet
Nice one.
there.
Yeah, for sure. How long are you staying for?
About a week, I think.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna be there on Sunday, and then I'm gonna fly around lunchtime on Friday.
Okay. Actually I don't remember my flight schedule. Let me check.
Yeah, I think on Friday it's good to leave because last time I stayed till Saturday, then I went to Barcelona for one night, and then I went, and it's easier for me because I have to travel so far just to get it over with and quickly go back as fast as I can. Makes it a bit better. Yeah.
Yeah,
And how many?
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, how many talks are you doing?
I'm doing a lightning talk on CDEvents at the CDE Summit, and I'm also on the panel. You are on the panel as well, so we're.
Yeah,
But I'm not doing any talk in the main conference.
Ah, yeah.
I might do a talk at the IBM booth or something.
That would be cool. And who are we waiting for tonight? Is anyone else going to come?
Yeah, I thought the others would be here. Let me ping folks, see if they're going to join. I pinged them on the Slack, but I don't see anyone online.
It's okay. How was the subcommittee meeting this morning?
Yeah, I missed that, unfortunately.
Me too. Yeah.
So I couldn't join. Fatih told
my,
me.
well,
yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately I missed it as well.
It was my son's birthday yesterday, and we're still out celebrating when the meeting happened. So
yeah. How old was your son?
9.
Ah, nice. Cool. Do you want to, if the others don't come, should we skip it, or should we maybe look at some good first issues maybe you might have for me or someone else?
Yeah, we can look at those. Actually, I was going to, let me share my screen. Well, not my calendar, I guess. Yeah, I wanted to share this. I mean, I wrote a small blog post. So we are participating to Oktoberfest,
Okay.
a CDEvents project. So I wrote a small blog post, which is then linked to from the CDF blog, where they link to Jenkins and Octelius and who's joining. And the main things that we have are work on the SDK and on the website. So there is a GitHub project that I made here with some things that people can pick up to start working on. And yeah, and of course you're also very welcome to look at any of these if you have time that you want to contribute. I mean, we have things like we have schema files defined now for the protocol, but we need to kind of host them under the domain so that the schema ID, the type IDs is actually resolvable to a file. I'll just show it how it looks like. schemas. And if you look at any of the schema, then the ID here is generated like this. But this does not resolve today to a valid URL. And we own the CDEvents dev domain. We have our website there, but we need to make sure that these schema files that are in GitHub, it can be resolved through this URL, so that we actually can resolve this ID. So this is one issue. Other things that we have more like, if anyone has JavaScript or Rust experience or knowledge, they're very welcome to start working on creating an SDK there. And there are specific things that needs to be done on the various existing SDKs. Like for the SDK Go, we have improved validation on the source field, which we validate as a string, but it should be a URI. Once this PR is merged, we need to align the SDK to the versioning, define that PR. There's some work to be done on generating boilerplate code, and maybe reorganizing the schema files. And so there was to be done on the Java SDK, on the Python SDK. So there's some of these are maybe a bit chunky. So I added a comment like it might be good to break them down.
The validation, the Go validation one shouldn't be too hard, right? They shouldn't be too big.
Yeah, like this is it's probably very
easy
contained.
Yeah.
But things like for Java, we have like aligned the SDK to the latest spec, because the SDK was created based on the old spec, so it needs to be aligned. But I don't know the Java SDK well enough to say how to break this down into pieces. But if someone wants to work on this, we can, start the discussion and see how we can break this down in smaller PRs. And if someone wants to do PRs for Oktoberfest, and maybe even a small contribution in this direction can be a valid PR from my point of view.
Yeah. I would love to do the Rust one to learn Rust, but I just can't commit to the time of something unknown. Because I'm interested in learning Rust one day, but it's probably better for someone that's really good at Rust.
Yeah, I would love to learn Rust as well. So if I end up having some spare time at any point, we can, we could collaborate on that.
That would be fun, actually. Like if no one else does it, why not? We can just do it, and then we'll go ask like a proper Rust developer, is this rubbish or is it good? And then they can give us pointers of how we can change it.
Right. So so this is what we have. And if you have any other idea, things we could add to this project, feel free to add them in there.
Yeah. I wonder, like what's the goal of Hacktoberfest? Is it for new contributors? Is it for what goal does CDEvents have for Hacktoberfest?
Yeah, well, it's both to get our name out there, so people knows that there is this project they can contribute to, and if we can get some contribution, that's great. And maybe it's interesting enough for someone then to stick around after Oktoberfest, so I think that's why I think it makes sense to have some maybe bigger items that maybe some can start working on them, and then continue after.
I feel like we need some more easier tasks for people as well, because just trying to think how though. Do you plan to do other SDKs like C# or something like that as well, or not on the radar at the moment?
I didn't think about C#, but sure. I mean, we could have C#, we could have Bash, we could have whatever. I think I put Rust in JavaScript because I think they're quite popular. today,
especially. They're more popular. C# not as popular, but interesting. It's still adopted a lot.
But yeah, I don't know what's out there in C# in terms of like DevOps tools, but probably there are things. So yeah. I mean,
think
there is
Octopus deploy is written in C#.
All right. Yeah. And the GitHub Actions worker, right? It's in C#.
Yeah, and they have a lot of gaming is written in C# for like when they use Unity to writing games. It's quite a common language, surprisingly.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just an idea. Like. I mean, at the end of the day, it could just be a ticket, and if no one picks it up, no one picks it up. But it might attract someone to want to come and contribute. Maybe just an idea. It wouldn't hurt us to just write an issue for it. Maybe.
Yeah. Well, let me do it right away.
I think I might know someone that might want to do the bash one as well. Maybe. I never really thought of doing a bash one for it. It's quite interesting. But it sort of makes sense in a way as well. And you didn't create a repo for these SDKs yet. They're just like, if you want to contribute, then sort of make a repo and then present it.
Yeah, I mean, if someone comes around and say, okay, yeah, we want to contribute, I'll create the repo. I didn't yet because I didn't want to make. If people think that we are actively working on that, if they don't have anyone. So that's why I created them in the community repo, these issues for now, so that it
makes sense. I feel like maybe another good issue would be like demos or samples of getting like because CDEvents the whole concept might be hard to grasp. So if Hacktoberfest was getting, obviously this is already like kept in and ticked on can already happen, but maybe having like some sort of, like hackathon or something where we actually get two tools talking to each other could be cool as well. It could, that's that bigger item that we're talking about as well, could attract contributors also.
Right.
We can discuss it when the others, the next time when the others come, but maybe that could be a good idea for Hacktoberfest also.
Yeah, how would you phrase it in an issue, like specific use cases or?
Yeah, I don't know how to phrase it, but it might help people like grasp the true concept of what CDEvents is, instead of just coming and writing some SDK code. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe we think about it.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe
yeah. Anyway, we can think about it. If there's any tools that really want CDEvents, I actually talked to Jenkins X maintainers last week, and they're actually really interested in it. So we could have a project here and work with the Jenkins X maintainers to implement it into Jenkins X, which is, as far as I'm aware, that Jenkins X is just like ticked on under the covers, so it should be pretty easy to implement, right? Because it's probably already exists.
Yeah. Sorry, do you mind? There's someone at the door. I'll be back in a second.
Yeah, no rush. Yeah, don't worry.
Sorry about that. I'm back.
That's okay. I just reached out to the maintainer now to see if he's awake. He lives in New York, so maybe it's like 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. Sometimes he gets up early. But that could possibly be an idea.
Yeah. And I think like creating like bite-sized examples of using CDEvents
is perfect. Yeah,
it would be nice. I don't know how to. So one small project I created is this, for instance, CDEventer, which is something that allows you to use what we call custom run in Tecton. And basically it's a component-based controller. So if you write this YAML and you put the parameters that you want to have in your CDEvent, it will actually go off and use the Go SDK to send a CDEvent.
That's really cool.
And because we have something in Tecton which is called triggers, which allows you to react to a webhook or any kind of event which is HTTP based. So what I used in the last POC that I did for the Open Source Summit is basically I used triggers to get events from whatever source. Some source was a container registry webhook, another was a Git webhook, another one was a cloud event from the Kubernetes API or things like that. And then I use Tecton triggers to extract the information that I need from the payload. And then triggers, we create a run and put the information in the right places, and then this goes off and sends the CDEvent. So it's kind of a glue then between whatever incoming source that you have to a CDEvent as an output. That this relies on Tecton, but yeah.
I've been looking into something similar to this too. There's one tool called by Aqua Security open source called Posty that does something similar. Yeah, I can't remember the spell it. Just type Posty and then Aqua Security and it will correct you. I think not Tracy Posty. Yeah, let me find it. I'll send it to you. It looks somewhat similar. Yeah, it's actually Postee.
Sorry, PR.
Postee.
Postee. Oh.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that one. So I'm not sure if it does all the capabilities that yours does, but it's something that I was planning to spike just to see how good it is.
Okay. Just check. Okay. So maybe we could have.
Yeah. There's another one called Trigger Mesh, but Trigger Mesh is quite heavy. There's around 8 pods just for a simple, because I'm interested in getting a Kubernetes event and then transforming it into like a CDEvent, or this does sort of something similar. But Directive are actually coming up with like a small piece of code that will do this as well. So I'm going to catch up with them next week to talk about their progress, because I'm interested in seeing what they're doing as well. So that's where I've been spiking.
Okay. Oh, that's pretty cool. I wonder whether we could have something here like evaluate or small POC with OST and CDEvents as a task.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, because we could almost consider contributing back upstream to it if they don't have that capability, which I'm pretty sure they do, but we just have to get someone to figure out how it all works.
And then
I can let Aqua Security open source people know that we've done that too, and then they will probably share interest also.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's great. More ideas, more issues. People to pick up.
Maybe the integration with Directive, because they would be quite interested. Directive is a. Do you know what it is?
Yeah.
Because they're really smart and fast. So,
it
would be cool. Yeah, it's with a K. Yeah, I always use that's it. Yeah, because that one's been just like brought up a little bit at the TOC for possible onboarding of the project. I don't know if they will do it, but it's directive.io. Yeah, just try that. It might correct you. Here, let me get it for you.
I can't find things today. I talked with them at in Austin, and I know why is it? I think they are even on the city landscape.
That they run Knative under the covers and use Knative eventing. I just sent it to you. Yeah. So they would be keen to help with the hackathon because it would be sort of good advertising for CDEvents and Directive. So it would be a good collaboration, I think. Trigger mesh is more of a. I think it's too heavy, but it's just interesting to compare with like Prost and Directive and stuff like that. Yeah. But the concept's interesting, what it does. We can get the concepts and use cases of what could be used for, CDEvents.
Yeah, we had a very interesting presentation on the CDEvents on Monday as well.
Okay.
From Brad Neves from SAS. He was showing the event architecture they built within their company, and they have one component which is called Gatekeeper, which is basically getting events from many different components and then taking kind of decisions based on when you it allows you to define policy. I get these events. If I get these events and these other events and they have this field, then trigger this other event, which is kind of like message routing, but with policies on top.
Yeah, nice. That's cool.
And yeah, so that's not open source, but there is interest to make this kind of things open source. So if if that happens, that would be something really maybe interesting for
you could
CDEvents as well.
you could technically put open policy agent on CDEvents because it's a spec and it doesn't really change the title. So you could run open policy agent pretty easy on it.
Yeah.
I don't know what a use case would be, but if you were like, if pipeline triggered and then the data is prod, I don't know. I can't think of a use case, but if someone thinks of a use case, we could consider it.
Yeah. I think one key component that we don't have right now is, I mean, we have something maybe prototype, it's just the CDEventer, but it's what I want to say is like a generic or a reusable component for receiving CDEvents. So I think until now the assumption is kind of if you want to use CDEvents in your tool, you maybe integrate it in your tool so you have a receiver, but not every tool will host an HTTP server to receive CDEvents or things like that. So maybe it makes sense to have like a reusable component where you can receive CDEvents, take decisions based on policies, and then trigger a tool. So that's something we don't have today. And I mean, there, like we were seeing now, I mean, there are maybe many existing things out there that we could reuse or customize for CDEvents purposes.
It makes sense to me because a lot of other projects wouldn't have to reinvent the wheel, which is, it feels like we're going back to integration sometimes with some of those things. Because they still got to write their own receiver, so it's like you're still writing the integration really. Whereas if they had a receiver, they could plug and play, and then it's that more interoperability over integration.
Right. But that's but that's something that maybe we can. That's not maybe something that we can do for Oktoberfest, but it's something that we can look at as part of maybe the project roadmap.
Yeah, it's a good KubeCon discussion. Talk about it there.
Yeah. My lightning talk at the CDE Summit is going to be about CDEvents roadmap. So I plan to mention these kind of things so we can then maybe trigger some discussion.
If you think of, I know Open Policy Agent quite well, and I've done some Golang, like building my own one. So if you ever think of a use case, let me know and I can do a POC and then present it back.
Okay, that's cool.
Because it won't be hard at all.
Yeah. I mean, if you use cases would be like, I don't know, if you have build messages, for instance, and you want to say trigger some deployment, and you can have some policies where you say, okay, well, this build was tested, for instance, or this build is signed, or this build comes from this repo, or I mean, you could have any number of rules that you can imagine you want to use as gates to say, okay, from this build, go and deploy to this environment. And I guess you could express those as policies.
Yeah, true. Yeah, there could be lots. It feels like it's a good place to catch it too, because then you don't have to go integrate that into the tool, so you can do it before it goes into the tool.
Yeah, where things it gets a bit more complicated is when you depend on more than one event, and that's where the gatekeeper that the SAS folks wrote seems to be very cool, because I can imagine you can have, like, I don't know, this build was made and it is signed, and also this other environment is ready, and also someone gave maybe a manual approval and maybe also some other condition. Or maybe you have an artifact which depends on 10 other artifacts. So whenever you get a new version of each of them, then you can go and trigger a build of the composite artifact. I don't know. Yeah, just thinking out loud, but
yeah, it gets quite complex.
It does, yeah.
Simple is good.
Right. Okay. Well, yeah, thanks a lot. I feel like we have a lot of at least we have some ideas, some good ideas for Oktoberfest. I'm not sure whether we'll actually get contributors or not, but at least we put our name out, and maybe
how are you going to put your name out?
Well, basically we have this blog post, and this blog post is so the CDF is participating, and they wrote a blog post with all the projects that are participating, and for each project they have a link to how to participate.
Okay.
And that's this. Let's see if I find it. It's basically this. So from the CDEvent blog post, people will get to this issue, and this issue points to
cool.
the GitHub project, and how to get involved, and how to get involved, code of conduct, and so forth. And the other thing is I added the topic here, if you see all the relevant projects. So if people just searches for project with this topic, it will also show up.
Okay, cool. I know someone that will be interested in the Python one. If you haven't got anyone to do that.
I mean, they're like someone was working on it, but they don't have much time anymore. So there is an initial version of this Python one, but there are things like fix the CI jobs are not passing right now. So and that's something that is maybe small and contained enough to get started. Or things like generate a coverage report from the PyTest test, write a README for the SDK, and this is a larger one that actually shouldn't say align with the Go SDK. So
so his do you know a guy called Adam Gardner?
Could you repeat the name?
So his name is Adam Gardner. He's he works for the Dynatrace open source program office. And he's right into Python and obviously events as well. He works heavily on the Captain integrations. So this is something that would really interest him. So I'll reach out to him tomorrow and see if he's interested to help, because he would enjoy this group as well.
Okay, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I'll ask him tomorrow.
Great.
All right, cool. I'll look through the tasks as well, and I'll see if I can map some contributors to the task as well. I know a lot of people looking to contribute, but they're quite entry level. They generally are the new contributors. So I'll try and think of a way of maybe I'll look at if we can break these tasks down a little bit as well.
Great.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Well, nice talking to you, and I will be in touch soon.
Yeah, nice talking to you too, Brad. Always good to meet.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining today.
No worries. See you later.
Take care.
Bye.